Hello, welcome to the class. I'm your instructor, Ann Magnuson, and this is a quick course tour. When you enter the class, you're going to be arriving in this Getting Started material, and I would like you to go through each of these items in this table of contents, and it forces you to go through them sequentially. So it explains the books, software, which is WebAssign, which is what we'll be using for homeworks and quizzes, but not for tests. How to get in touch with me, our course organization and timetable, so it's not a self-paced course. You have attendance requirements every week. You have 2 discussion board posts and either a week quiz or a unit test, but depending on the week. So those count for your attendance. Each week there'll be new content that opens up according to the calendar that I have here that I'll go over later. You'll also have labs occasionally. There are 9 labs that we have in this class that you're supposed to download and print and work on with the group, and then you upload your own individual completed lab, and I'll go over that a little bit later. Important thing to remember is attendance is due Thursday and Sunday normally. So please know it's not a work on your own whenever you want kind of class. So this details attendance, quizzes. Quizzes are taken in our online system, WebAssign. Another type of quiz called self-check quizzes, and they're like 1 to 4 question Blackboard quizzes that are embedded in the lessons every week. But the WebAssign quizzes are they're not big. They're like maybe 4 or 5 questions, depending on how many sections we've covered that week. And you need to complete them in one setting. So they're available for like a 3-day window, but you have like an hour or 40 minutes depending on how many questions there are to complete it. So you need to sit down and complete it at once. The WebAssign homework doesn't work that way. That's open all semester. It is graded, but it is open all semester. It's not like you have to sit down and finish it in a certain amount of time. They're 4 unit tests, and they are paper and pencil tests. They're not in WebAssign. So that's why I have those labs, so that people, write the notation, get used to taking an assessment in that type of format, because the tests are the biggest part of your grade in this class. If you live more than 50 miles from Wake Tech, you can take them. You need to find another testing center to have them proctor, but I need to approve it. And it needs to be an official testing center, or preferably another community college or university. So you can see when our tests are given, and to make an appointment to test at our e-learning testing center, which is our proctoring center. There's one on each Wake Tech campus. You'll be doing that through this Smarter Proctoring software. So I'm going to click over there. If you click this button, Smarter Proctoring, you'll see this website, which allows you to make a reservation so you can schedule a time to take your test. And I suggest, if you can, especially for final exam week, it gets very, very busy because everybody has the same tests. Every online class is testing then. So if you can make your appointment for the final exam from now, I recommend that if you know what your schedule is going to be. So the discussion boards are graded in this class. You are expected to post twice in a week. So by a Thursday of the week, you need to post problem that you're having. And then the second post should be answering someone else's problem from Thursday, and that would be due on Sunday. So there are 2 posts per week on the discussion board, and that counts as 1 attendance. And then the other attendance for the week counts at from like a WebAssign quiz or the unit test. And here's the rubric, because the discussion boards are graded. They need to be authentic. They need to be substantive. It can't be, good job, Joey, or, something like that. Or you really need to show that you are really working at for a meaningful discussion board post. 2 types of homework in the class. There's the WebAssign homework, which is the online homework, which has videos and resources, and you can try your answer again and again and again, which sounds good at first, but then I realized, there's just too much of a disconnect, and it's too easy to get 100 on a WebAssign and a 30 on the test. So it's important that you also do problems for the homework from the text, just on paper and pencil. So you need to try to do both. WebAssign's good, it has good resources, but you want to also do other homework problems that are listed in the syllabus on paper and pencil. There are 9 labs in this class, and you work on them in a group, but you turn them in individually. So you need to turn in your own work. It's not like all 4 people in a group are turning in the same paper. It needs to be your own work, your own writing, your own words, your own ideas. So that you kind of think of a seated class where you work in a group with other people in your class, but you turn in your own paper. The grades in this class, primarily the unit tests and the final exam, are the biggest weighted, and then we have these other categories. Notice the labs are 5%, the WebAssign quizzes are 10%, and the discussion boards and WebAssign homework and these little self-check quizzes are 2.5% each, which can make a difference in a letter grade. So those are actually quite easy things to do. We're going to have a group project at the end of the semester. Here's a link to the syllabus. Please read that in its entirety, and then just click around the class to see what's behind all these buttons. And then in your view, when you first entered, you're not going to see this FERPA line or this line for the getting started, because you need to take the course entry quiz for this FERPA release to display. And that you sign in 2 places to say that you've read the syllabus and that you understand the academic honesty policy, you know what cheating is, and that the FERPA release is important because I can't talk about grades with you via email unless you sign that. So you need to sign in 2 places for this FERPA release. And then finally, the getting started quiz, which does count for a quiz grade, just goes through, make sure that you understand all the information in the getting started area, and you need to make an 80% on that. And once you make an 80% on that, the lessons should show. So in my student view here, I've taken those 3 quizzes, and so my week 1 lessons show. If you've gone here and your lessons don't show, that's why. There was a Blackboard bug that didn't show the lessons no matter what. We fixed that. There's also a Blackboard bug that showed the lessons no matter what. Hopefully we fixed that. So let's look at week 1. That is a typical week. Each week's going to look like this. It's going to come out on Monday. There'll be a checklist every week. There'll be links to the discussion boards that account for your attendance every week. And then there'll be these things, little folders called learning modules, and this contains all the content for the class. So the videos, I created the videos that go along with these Desmos slides presentation that I made as well. And they align with the book, they align with the homework. They give examples and explanations. It's like having going to class and listening to the teacher up there at the board. And then there are also other resources in here, links to the WebAssign homework, links to PowerPoints from the publisher, and then like other resources that I found. I'm just going to put up here to, the problems videos that I just find randomly on the web. So that's a pretty typical learning module. And so then there you see it for the other section we're doing this week, the same type of thing, section 2.2. This tells you how to submit assignments, and you'll need to know that for these labs. So this is the first lab. 1 is due the 16th after drop add is over. Give people adding late a little bit of time. But you're going to want to join your group before you start on your lab. And the groups are, I organize them by how you like to work. Are you a last minute person? Or you like to do things yesterday? Prereq assignment. So I emailed this to people before the start of the semester, and you didn't need to do it then before, but I just did it just in case you wanted to. It's really important that you're comfortable with the algebra and trig in this class, because that is the main thing that people stumble with. Even people have had calculus before, they still lack of prerequisite skill out there. So anyway, make sure that you feel comfortable with this assignment. I'm not going to grade it, but I took problems from our old tests, took out the calculus, and just let it boil down to the algebra and the trig. So make sure that you can do that and you're very, very comfortable. And then there's some more references, some more resources. So go through the class, go look at the calendar. It shows what week each section is going to be covered, the due dates and testing windows, the windows for the WebAssign quizzes. So look through those. And then finally, I wanted to show you student support. This is a list of where you can get all sorts of helpful resources. The STEM Center, there's a link to the STEM Center schedule. The STEM Center are tutoring and resource center. So that's it for now. I hope we have a great semester. And I'm on the North Campus, so if you have occasion to be up here, please come see me and have a great semester.